This is an EKG machine. With it, a doctor can measure electrical impulses around a heart, determining how well it functions. An EKG machine is used to measure the rate and regularity of heartbeats, as well as the size and position of the chambers, the presence of any damage to the heart, and the effects of drugs or devices used to regulate the heart, such as a pacemaker. Well, welcome to this 4-week study on extravagant generosity, the heart of giving. This first week's lesson is entitled EKG, Ministry Flows from the Heart. I want you to know that I've had my heart checked out, and apparently it's pretty good. Thank God. That's what I want to say to you, that generosity comes out of gratitude, not guilt. We realize that everything we have comes from God, and we want to say thank you. The heart of the matter is this: generosity comes not out of the church's need for money, but our need to give and to give thanks. Let me do a little Hebrew with you. The word for heart in Hebrew is leb. Here's what some of my research revealed. In the Old Testament, the heart was understood to be the chief organ, the innermost spring of individual life, the ultimate source of one's physical, intellectual, emotional, and volitional energies. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, but in short, the heart is the equivalent of personality, who you are, your identity. The heart was considered to be the place where persons connected with God. Therefore, in the Old Testament, God would inscribe God's instructions on the heart. In another place it says God would fashion a new heart for God's people. In the New Testament, the word for heart in Greek is kardia. And you'll recognize this term from electrocardiogram, the EKG. To hold something or someone in one's heart is to treasure it, or to treasure them. So Jesus would say something like this: "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." And another place where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So as we begin this study, I ask you, how's it with your heart? One thing that concerns me in our culture is how our hearts can become clogged, can misfire, can function less well than God intends. I think that we may suffer from a disease that I call EST. You may have experienced this disease. This is where we have to have the latest or the greatest. There's more. The fastest or the biggest. We get caught in an addictive cycle of EST. We're never satisfied, and it puts such a strain on our hearts. Today, I'd love for you to take a spiritual EKG test to see if you suffer from EST. I believe that Christ wants us to be free from anxiety over money and possessions. Christ wants us to be heart healthy. The passage from 1 Timothy says it very well, that we would have hearts that are pumping with doing good, being generous, and willing to share. May it be so.